The following teacher development program is brought to you by the MultiChoice Africa Foundation.
It's done for the day. Yeah, I'm done for the day.
Already?
Yep, the soccer practice has been cancelled. With the principal's permission.
Wouldn't happen if I were in charge.
But then you are not the principal, are you? And your chances of being one can't be too good either.
And why's that?
You're a woman, that's why.
Let me tell you something. Nowadays, 40% of the principals are women. And I will be one soon.
Are we still on for dinner tonight?
No.
Oh, come on, Thandi, I was only joking.
Well, you know what? I didn't find it funny. Women already have to work so much harder than men in the workplace to achieve success. We're still disadvantaged when it comes to promotions, salaries, you name it. Then there are guys like you. Just come along and make things even more difficult by just saying things that are out of question.
Stop that bus right there. What are you saying? What are you saying? Are you saying you are disadvantaged? Hey, we're the only country in the whole world that has the highest number of women in parliament.
That may be so, my dear friend, but I've done my research on gender bias. Women represent 52% of the adult population, 39% of the working population. And yet in the workplace, they're still badly represented when it comes to senior positions.
Says who?
The Business Women's Association of South Africa, they did a study on directorship positions. There are 3,125 directorship positions, and only 221 are occupied by women.
That doesn't sound bad.
Sound?
Yeah, well...
Sound? That's not good enough. I'll show you the figures.
Okay.
We'll work out the percentage. 221 divided by 3,125 equals...
It's equal to 0.07.
0.07.
Then because we need a percentage, then we must multiply that number by 100, and that gives us 7%.
See? And it actually gets worse. Of 364 chairpersons of the board, only 11 are women.
Okay, wait. Let's do this, okay. 11 divided by 364 is equal to?
0.03.
Now we need a percentage, then we have to multiply that by 100, and that gives us?
3%.
3%. Ish. Yeah, Thandi, I'm sorry. These statistics are shocking.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
At least there's hope for the next generation. I mean, gender issues are discussed in the classroom these days, even in math literacy.
Bumbulani Mahashe from Bukamuso High School is teaching a lesson on gender rights and roles. He decides to reverse some of the typical conventions to make his point.
Right, I need 2 boys who can clean, who can sweep the class. And then 2 girls who can take out the 2 desks outside the class. Right, then how do you feel when the boys are cleaning the class and the girls are taking out the desks?
Okay, so I think it's not a good idea because girls are very weak and boys are very strong. So the table must take out by boys and girls must sweep. It's a simple way.
I think it's great girls carry up the tables and boys sweeping the floor, because it doesn't matter what, if you are a girl or a boy, you can do anything, it doesn't matter.
As you know, we've never done something like this in our culture. So it's not great for boys to do these things and the girls take the desk out.
When Umbulani asked the class how they would feel being governed by a woman president, most of the boys are not happy.
If we're ruling by a woman, it will be not all right, because women don't have strength to fight. So it's not correct by ruling by a woman in this country. Men are allowed to rule the country.
He surprises them by pointing out that this has already happened. While President Mbeki was away on official travel, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma stepped in as acting president. Umbulani reads from one of the president's speeches to drive the point home.
As we celebrate Women's Day, we need further to commit ourselves to accelerate the process that we have started of transforming South African from a male-dominated society to a truly non-sexist, non-racial and democratic society. We need to move with the necessity speed to ensure that the totality of the government do not merely pay lip services to gender equality. This applies both to political institutions as well as the public service.
Umbulani tells the learners that one cannot rely on stereotypes of the roles men and women play. Rather, one needs to speak to people to find out relevant information. One way of doing this is by conducting a survey. He hands out survey forms for the learners to complete. The learners swap questionnaires to ensure confidentiality. Umbulani has prepared some tally forms, one for each question. He shows the learners how tally marks work. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the learners read the answers from the questionnaire while Umbulani completes the tally marks on each form. He could have asked the learners to put up their hands, then counted the numbers for each answer. But he wanted to show the class how it is usually done in surveys. When statisticians process the results of a survey, they go through the answers individually, just like here in the class. Umbulani demonstrates how the learners can go about analyzing the results. They have to write the numbers of girls and boys who choose each answer as fractions. Then the fractions need to be converted to percentages. To analyze the results further, the learners will need to do calculations with fractions. Every mathematics teacher dreads finding out what a class knows about fractions. The learners are supposed to have learned all about fractions in the lower grades, but some learners struggle.
Let's just revise the fractions. Can you add half plus a quarter?
It's 2/6.
Is it correct? Like,
no, it's wrong. The answer is 3/4.
In an ideal world, the teacher would arrange for cash-up lessons. But what if that is not viable?
And I'll give you the calculators, and then I'll show you how do I use the calculators, dealing with the fractions. Right.
Humbulani shows the class how to use a calculator or the fraction key to do the calculations.
1, and then you press over 2, plus 1 over 4 equals 2. And then you get the answer. I will start with the boys. Then number 10A, we have 5 boys in number 10A. Then we have to write in fraction form, right? Then it's going to be what? 5 over, right.
Each group analyzes a different set of data. Humbulani moves around to check that the learners understand what to do. Humbulani gives the learners questions involving fractions. These will help them analyze the results of the survey. Some interesting trends are starting to develop. The learners are discovering that some stereotypes have been proven true. Most girls do love chocolate. There are also some surprises. Most girls want to be doctors. Each group reports back on their findings.
So we found that in our chart, the listed music is gospel.
And we found out that their favorite TV show of the class is Backstage.
The fraction of the class liked maths as their favorite subject at school is 20 out of 36, because it is important to do maths because there are many opportunities and we are doing maths in our daily life, e.g. calculating money.
There is 0% of those who want to be a teacher because they don't get a lot of money.
One of the most controversial issues is how much time each gender spends on chores. This group of boys have managed to twist the results somewhat.
Its fraction is, for girls, is 12 over 22, which gives us 54%, and for girls. And for boys, it's 3 over 14, which gives us 21%. Then that's how girls like to do chores at home.
To correct you on what you said girls like to do chores, but the question says how many girls who do chores at home. It's not that we like to do chores, it's our responsibility to do chores at home. So if we can't do them, who else will do it? So we don't like to do it, it's compulsory.
Some of the groups try to analyze why gender differences are such an issue.
And the most of the boys prefer living in township and girls prefer to live in suburbs because in suburbs there is safety.
The learners have started to think about gender critically and are not just accepting roles at face value anymore, all thanks to the light statistics have thrown on the issues.
That's quite a cool calculator.
Well, it's quite a specialized one. It makes calculations like the ones we've just done very easy.
Won't you show me how to use it, please, man?
Okay. You see this key here? It's a fractions key. To enter a fraction, you first punch in your numerator, and you press your fractions key again, then you enter your denominator.
You have a franc. Now, no, come again, but this time explain slowly.
Okay, we'll do a sum, then you'll understand. But I still want you to know how few women are occupying CEO positions.
Okay.
Okay, Well, it says here, out of 364 CEO positions, only 7 are held by women. And as I said before, to enter a fraction, you first punch in your numerator. In this case, it's a 7.
7, yes.
Then you press your fractions key, add your denominator, which is 364.
364.
You punch your fractions key again. There's your fraction, 1 over 52.
And now?
Punch your fractions key again to get your decimal.
Ah, yes, yes. So now I know we need a percentage. So to get a percentage, you have to move your decimal 2 spaces to the right.
Right.
Okay. 1, 2. Wait. You want to tell me only 1.9% of women are CEOs?
Sad, eh? That's a very small fraction of women who make it to the top in their fields.
But don't you think we should do something with this information?
Don't tell me now you want to become a gender activist.
No, I'm not becoming a gender activist.
So because there's a problem. It took us
we've
so
worked
much
it
time.
out. It's fine, yes, it's fine. 1.9.
Commissioner Tebogo Maitse took us through the role that the Commission on Gender Equality plays in our lives, as well as the role played by maths literacy in her work.
The mandate here is to promote and protect gender equality. So where there's a violation, we need to know how many people are violating. Where there's promotion, we need to know how many are promoting so that we can give encouragement. We get complaints from the whole country. Let me say maybe they are on maintenance. You have to compile these statistics to say, okay, in this magistrate's district, this is what happens, and the difference here is this, and the numbers of people, these are the numbers, and because you cannot go and give account to Parliament without having hardcore figures, because parliamentarians want to deal with numbers, how many. Each ministry has its budget, and it will have its budget speech, what you call budget speech. Then from there, you have to analyze who, in terms of beneficiaries, what impact that budget is going to have on women. And we know from, say, from history, and we know that the majority of households are headed by women. So if, say, there is maybe there is no kind of budget that is allocated to upcoming women farmers, for instance, then what does that mean? Does it mean that women are not going to go into the agriculture, sort of commercial farming? It will only remain with the men. So we put a microscope to that. We say we look at it with the gender lens. Historically, girls were discouraged from studying maths. And also, if you look at the number of women doctors, they're quite minuscule, because math has always been made to sound like heavy. It's a men's thing. Because it's made to be difficult, ultimately girls leave it. But not because they're stupid, because whoever it is teaching it does not tap into their intelligence, does not make it interesting for them. So that kind of approach is an approach that is good, and I think it will encourage many children. And even, as I said, I'll enroll.
Hey, Thandi, I've got something for you.
What?
Check this out. It's for you.
Man. You did these for me?
Yep. All by my lonesome math literate self.
I'm sorry about dinner last night. I was in such a state over these statistics.
No. I'm inviting you again tonight. And I just want to prove that I'm a millennium man. I am going to cook you a 3-course gourmet delight.
Well, I'm going to be late a little because I've got a 5 o'clock interview.
Interview? For what?
For the principal's job. What else?